Hi there, I'm Milo. How are you? Robot month continues. Oh, I have a cold. Or something. So my voice is going to be hoarse and I'll be talking maybe less than usual. But this is Rockman Forte, Challenger from the Future. And the reason we can see these lovely words is because of the work of Nick DC, who did an English translation patch for this game back in 2016. So, this is a licensed sequel to Rockman Forte on the SNES, also known as Mega Man and Bass. The year 20XX. Symphony City, where man and machine live in peace, is under attack. The group of robots that are responsible for the chaos, the dimensions, are led by their ruthless commander, who looks just like Rockman. The real Rockman, under repairs at Dr. Wright's lab, races to the scene upon hearing the news. Meanwhile, Forte is sent by Dr. Wily to look into reported sightings of a dark Rockman. Now, the reason I'm playing this today is because I was the monarch of our game club this month, the game club that I run on Discord. And I chose the original Mega Man and Bass. Oops, sorry, I'm going to rewind a bit so I can read that. I am the great Rockman Shadow. This world is mine. Don't do this, huh? You look like me. How? Two Rockmans? Whatever, I'll destroy them both. We'll fight later, Forte. I have to stop them. This isn't over. Guess I should save Wily's lab. I love how Bass is so edgy. I said, well, it was in my review for my Tumblr blog, but that hasn't been published yet. But yeah, I say he's basically the Shadow the Hedgehog of this franchise. And hello, Gibbon in the chat. He's saying this game made him think that Quint was the coolest thing back in the day. Yes. So the villain we saw, Rockman Shadow, is kind of based on this concept from Mega Man 2 or Rockman World 2 on Game Boy by Biox, where there was a robot called Quint who came from the future. Wily went to the future and remodeled the Mega Man of the future and then brought it back to the present and made him evil. And this story is kind of building on that with an evil Rockman from the future coming back and causing trouble. And because it's also a sequel to Rockman Forte, Forte is involved and playable. And since I really enjoyed his playstyle in the SNES game, I'm going to be playing as him for this game as well. And I will most likely be using Japanese names most of the time because that's my preference. Now, I've played the intro stage for this a few times because this game has a unique feature on the WonderSwan, and to get to the point where that would become relevant, I had to play through this intro stage a few times on different emulators. I settled on using the emulator that's inside OpenEMU. Oh, I didn't look up what core it's using to do the emulation, but my other alternative was Oswan, or the port of Oswan that Richard Bannister did to Mac, which is good, and especially good in that it has support for screen rotation, but there were some weird bugs with saving state that made me very nervous to actually play through on that version. I was losing progress constantly, so instead I'm going to do a similar solution to what I did last time I played a WonderSwan game on stream, which was Rainbow Island, is it Island or Islands? Putty's Party, which is completely played in vertical mode or portrait mode, but hopefully without the stupid mistake I did in that stream that ended up with the footage looking blurry and bad the whole way through. So we're not going to have that issue because I'm aware of it now and I know how to not do that. So yeah, the whole vertical thing, if you look up a picture of the WonderSwan, it's pretty interesting. It's a handheld gaming device. It's actually something that Gunpei Yokoi worked on after leaving Nintendo. The rumor is that after creating the Game Boy, which was a huge success, he then created the Virtual Boy, which was not so much a success. And the sort of popular story is that the disgrace of that caused him to leave or get fired or whatever. I think that's been disputed. Isn't necessarily accurate, but the fact is that he was behind the Virtual Boy, and that was kind of a commercial failure. And he left Nintendo soon after and signed on with Bandai, the makers of various toys and things. They're behind the Digimon franchise. This is before they merged with Namco, of course. And Bandai put out their own handheld based on Yokoi's design. And it was, the WonderSwan, which had this gimmick. Yeah, I agree about the Virtual Boy. Nintendo shouldn't have rushed it to market. The technology wasn't ready. Being only red, not a good idea. So yeah, the design of the thing, it's a widescreen, sort of like the Game Boy Advance, as you can see from here, but there's an extra D-pad on the upper left corner of the screen, which means you can then rotate the whole device, hold it in tate mode with a vertically oriented display, and games could take advantage of this and play themselves in that mode, or you could switch between them, which is what this game does. And you would use the secondary D-pad as your primary D-pad, and then the primary D-pad as a set of buttons, even though it only had A and B buttons, so there'd be doubling up of inputs there, but that's okay. Yeah, like I said, Putty's Party used vertical mode the whole time, but this one is going to swap. Only one stage in this game uses vertical mode, and it's Aircon Man's stage. So we're going to do that one first and get it out of the way, I think. I haven't really looked up a boss order guide for this game of which one would be good to do first. So we'll try and knock out Aircon Man first, and then I'll bring up a weakness chart and make decisions from there, because that's how you play Mega Man games. You use a guide, basically, because they're always quite difficult, so any advantage you can get is good, because you're doing all the execution yourself. So having a bit of a leg up in terms of strategy is very useful. So that was the Grey Devil. Rockman Forte on the SNES opens with the Green Devil, and yeah, because this is a black and white game, like Gibbon says, this needs a colorization hack. It would be a lot better if somebody had done that. But oh, I've just noticed that my box art isn't oriented that great. Oh well. I'll move that after I do the rotation thing, because that's going to be a bit of a hassle. Okay, so here's Rockman Shadow. You beat Grey Devil, not bad. Pity you wrecked my base as well. Did I? Who are you? You seem familiar. Perhaps we're related. Ha 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 ha. I guess. Yeah, I will probably find out more about that as we go on. Fight my crew and I'll tell you. So, like, spoilers, I don't think that's actually the same Quint. Yeah, that's my save file from when I did the intro stage before. It's just, like, similar to Quint, but yeah, we'll see. So, just like Mega Man base on the SNES, which has also got a Game Boy Advance port, but don't play that version if you can avoid it. It's a kind of lackluster porting job. We have a shop, and this lets us buy gun upgrades, shoot through walls, get better gun, more health thingies, and we also have our companion animals. Bass gets treble, or should I say Forte gets gospel, to join onto him as an armor that lets him fly. Mega Man gets Rush, Beat, and Eddie, but unique to this sequel game, Tango returns from the Game Boy games, where it's a cat. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it was only in the 5th one, I don't remember. And Bass also gets Reggae, who I think originated in Wily and Wright's Rockboard That's Paradise, but I know it from like manga and stuff. It's like an evil version of Beat, basically. Alright, and the spike protection, very helpful stuff. But I don't know, we can't really afford anything right now. Let me check, actually. Do I want this? Whoops. Sorry. I had to swap the controls for Mega Man and Bass, so I'm used to pressing Y in menus to accept. So yeah, everything's pretty expensive at this point. I could get a spike guard, but I'm just going to use emulator tricks to avoid deaths, I think, in this playthrough for the most part. Okay, so let's do Aircon Man stage. Oh yeah, there's a unique set of bosses in this game. They're not taken from any other game in the series, they're new. A lot of them have names that are just in Japanese, so they would have been localized if the game had been. So this is Dungan Man, which means Bullet Man, Conroll Man, which means Stove Man, Aircon Man, which is an English loan word in the first place, so yeah, aircon, air conditioning. Komusol Man, I think, which is a kind of Buddhist monk, so it's a strange concept. And later on we'll have Clock Men, a pair of wristwatch-based robots, and Compass Man. But let me see here. Gibbon saying, yeah, the Virtual Boy wasn't finished, but Nintendo wasn't ready to release the 64 and rushed out the Virtual Boy to fill the gap. It's an interesting system design, and I agree with that. Fun to imagine what sort of things Nintendo would have done with it, yeah, if it had continued, for sure. Oh, for the WonderSwan, yeah, absolutely. Like, say there was a Metroid game that switched, that used the same concept as the original Metroid, where rooms were either long or tall, and switched screen orientation accordingly. Yeah, that could have been interesting. Alright, so this is how we're going to do this. I'll start the stage, and then I'll start setting up how the screen appears. Of course, we have the classic Mega Man 2 boss intro music, because that jingle just can never go away. So here we go. We've got to swap our orientation now. And notice that in the pause menu also changes. Actually, I don't think I showed off the pause menu earlier for the regular orientation. So just, yeah, it's a similar thing, but they've swapped the layout around. All right, so I'm going to get this going. All I need to do is select this one, transform, rotate it 90 degrees. Oh, hang on, I don't even need to do this because I already set it up. Bing, bong, perfect. Oh, that's cropped weirdly. Why has everything changed? Oh, it might be because I changed the size of the window. Never mind, it's just something I did earlier. Okay. Just make that a little bit taller. Whoop, too tall. Okay, good enough? Great. Should make sure it's centered. Perfect. Now what I need to do is move this over here for me to look at, which is a similar thing that I did during Putty's Party. My main screen is still turned on the side, but I'm going to be looking at the OBS preview window. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's the other thing I need to do. Change what the buttons do. So, it's pretty simple. This is what it looks like, by the way. So all I need to do is doot, and then change X1 to that, and then that should work. Oops. It's stuck. So the D-pad seems to be set up, it's just stuck on shooting. Why are you doing this to me? Okay. Nope, everything is wrong. I don't know what I did. Whoops. Why? What? I don't understand what happened here. Alright, let's try this again. So imagine I'm holding it just like it is shown there. So this should be this one. That should be that one. That one, that one. A and B don't matter, we don't use them. But we want this one to be this, and we want that to be that, I think. Okay, the D-pad is correct. But we actually want this. Oops. I didn't know this would be such a hassle. I must have got this wrong. Okay. Alright, finally. Alright. We're good. Let's do it. Ow. Cool. So, isn't the WonderSwan great? Oh, come on, you Matt. Fine. So this is why I love Base. He can double jump. He can also dash. Ugh, nuts. Okay. So he can dash, which originally on the SNES was a separate button. For this one, it works just like Mega Man Slide. You press down and A, or down and jump, whatever button that is. Which is kind of annoying. It means that I don't feel inclined to use the dash as much as I used it on SNES. Whoops. That's okay, I should be able to climb up. Whoop, never mind, I'm falling. Oh, wow, it's so easy to die. Of course, it's a Mega Man game. Spikes are instantly deadly, of course. I do like the Mola Mola enemy. My spouse is very into Mola Molas thanks to the mobile game. What's it called? The objective is to kill your Mola Mola in all sorts of ways, and it teaches you about how they just die really easily in the wild. They're ridiculous fish. Also known as ocean sunfish or mumbo, which you might see them as in a few like Japanese games. There's a Mumbo character in Link's Awakening, for example. Yeah, it's just traps. Oh, you fell down the wrong hole. You're dead now. Okay. Great. I don't know what this thing is. Some kind of land shark. For some reason, seems to be a lot of aquatic-based animals. Oh, aquatic-based enemies in this stage. I guess it's because there's no real aquatic robot master in this game. So they gave those things to Aircon Man for some reason. Even though he has air-based powers. Although something based on air conditioning would suggest cold-based powers. But he's clearly holding two paper fans in his artwork. By the way, speaking of artwork, just recently it was... some concept art from the game was discovered by the director of the game in his attic, basically. Found some old boxes full of... oh, okay, yes. So apparently every stage in this game has a mini-boss. Ah, really? Okay, I'll just avoid these shots by jumping. Keep shooting up. Because Mets are just... they have a lot of health. Too hard to deal with. And yeah, it's nice because the concept art is in color, unlike any of the art in the game, and I don't think we have a manual scan, so, but I can assume that that would be in black and white printing as well. So it's nice seeing the bosses in this game the way they were meant to be seen in full color, to see what they look like. Good for references if you're doing fan art. And that was posted on Protodu's Rockman Corner, really good Mega Man fan site that I frequent. Ugh, Mats. Mets are just one of those constants in the whole franchise, and they're always annoying. But here's another reason why Forte is so good. He can shoot in any direction. Mega Man would really be stuck in a lot of these situations and have to get in real dangerous positions to deal with enemies. What? Oh, maybe that wasn't an enemy, maybe I'm supposed to use it. But yeah, double jumping, dashing. Oh, okay, that's not a platform. What's the deal? Now it is. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. So that's how that works. Now we have seals. Yeah, everything here is just an aquatic creature. Oh, thanks, Gibbon. He's giving me advice. Obviously, he's played this game before, as seen from his comments earlier. But yeah, good to have an expert on board. Let me know when I'm doing something dumb. Oh, yep, okay. I use the dash. Yeah, okay. Take damage from the squid and then you avoid getting killed. Oh, a baton, hello. I think that was the X series design, right? I remember in Armored Armadillo stage, there's a whole bunch of those, and then one classic style baton. That's a little Easter egg. So I think I read maybe in the trivia on Mega Man Wikia that a lot of the designs of the enemies in this game are sort of reminiscent of X series type look, whether it's the animalistic design or straight up there being an X baton right there. I don't know if they're called batons in X actually, but whatever the bat is. And the idea of that being that there's a, like, that's a lore thing. All the enemies in this game are from the future. You know, Rockman Shadow or whatever has come back from the future with a bunch of cronies and buddies. And therefore, wherever he is in the future is closer to the X series in the timeline. So it makes sense that there would be enemies from that time. Okay, what's the deal here? Should I go up or should I go right? Why don't we go right and get that health? I won't complain about health, because I definitely need it right now. These split paths is a very classic Mega Man thing to do. At least for certain games. The original Rockman Forte certainly had that in a lot of stages. Mostly based on the abilities that you were playing with, whether you were Rockman or Forte. Oh, okay, so the boss room is back in horizontal mode. Okay, so I can finally be done with this. Oh, that means I need to rebind my key mappings. Alright. Okay, here we are. There's the screen, by the way. So now all I have to do is this. Huh. Okay. So while I'm here, I'll take the opportunity. There you go. Little Rockman for you. And we love to see Forte. Just for the interruption, my streaming program just crashed, but we're back now. Let me just type that into chat. Very rude of it, but we're done with the vertical section, so there should be no fiddling, no more fiddling with the controls or anything. Hello. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Gibbon says he hasn't played this game in 20 years, but at least he still remembers some things. And yeah, he's corroborating my claim about the enemies in the game being more reminiscent of the X series. And air conditioning works by manipulating the humidity in the air, so they could loosely tie that to a water theme. Very good point. Very good. Good justification. Alright, let's swap all our controls back, shall we? Up, down, left, right, A, B. Perfecto. Oh great. Not so perfecto. How did I even solve this last time? Well, I do know one way of solving it, and that's just to quit the game. But we'll be back very soon. Just launch it again. Oh, huh. Sometimes OpenEMU does that. You launch it and that's just a grey screen. So, more technical issues, I apologize. Oh, now it's small again. Okay, that should come up. So let me get everything set up again. Ah, yes. Cool. Alright. Great. So we're back on board. Everything's rolling. Let's do it. We're going to fight Airman, Aircon Man. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Gibbon's obviously reading some trivia. He's saying this, it's interesting, this is the only game, the only licensed Mega Man title that is mentioned in the R20 Rockman and Rockman X official complete works books. Yeah, that is interesting. It's also the only licensed title. Holy heck, that is a really big health bar. I am worried, actually. Yeah, you'll see it in the trivia, but this game is referenced a few times in the Inti Creates series of Zero and ZX games. Specifically in ZX Advent, there's a few references to bosses from this game, visually and in dialogue. So at one point there's a comic book where Conroe Man is the hero. Okay, so this differs from normal Mega Man games in a few ways. One is that bosses don't have invincibility frame, stun thing, whatever it is. You know, where after you deal a hit to a boss, they'll flash for a bit and you won't be able to hit them again. That was a real problem for Forte, especially in the original game, because he couldn't charge up. He's got the rapid fire, but that was very unsuited to bosses because he would only do one paltry hit and the rest of his stream of bullets would do nothing until they'd recovered again. But in this game, much more amenable to Forte's rapid fire, because you can keep hitting a boss and continue dealing damage. So it's a difference in design that might be considered, inauthentic, say. But in this case, it really makes the game much more viable as Forte, especially early on before you have any of the Robot Master special weapons. So I think it's a really good change for this particular game. So here we go, that's our first boss down, and not too difficult. So we got the Forte Cyclone, and those are old style bats. Okay. Whatever, I've given up trying to figure out lore. So we're up to 130 bolts. That's still maybe not enough for any of the good upgrades. I might save up for boosting my attack power or something. But now is the time to look up a boss damage chart. I don't know why I didn't have that loaded up already, but now we'll just search the game's name. Rockman Forte Mirai Kara no Chosensha. which means future from Challenger or Challengers. So Challenger from the Future has the localized title that the fan patch went with. I'm familiar with the word Chosen because of the Game Center CX tie-in game, which is called Arino no Chosen, Arino's Challenge. Okay, Mega Man Wikia usefully has this kind of information. So now that we have Forte's Cyclone, what's the best one to go against? Oh, okay, it does 5 damage to everybody? I didn't understand this chart. Is that true? Is there not really a weakness triangle or you know, multi-cycle thing in this game? Possibly not. Okay, well that's fine. We'll just do whatever we feel like then. In that case, let's go with what it should be. Fire would put out, wind should put out fire, right? And this is based on a gas stove. So let's go to Conroe Man. He's my favorite because of that comic book in ZX Advent anyway. So yeah, like Gibbon's saying, it's unique in that it's more officially recognized than a lot of the other licensed Mega Man games that came out. And just to give you some examples of some of those Rockman licensed games that exist, the 5 Game Boy games, yeah, 4 of which were by High Tech Expressions, I think, and the second one by Biox, which is where this game is drawing the Quint lore from. You've got Mega Man on the Game Gear, or Best of Mega Man, which is a similar kind of compilation title to the way most of the Game Boy ones were, drawing from 4 and 5, I believe. Oops, got some Grey Devil blobs there. And Hammer Joe. Yeah, these things do have a lot of health, don't they? Okay, cool. Oh, let's try out a new weapon. Oh, nice. It's quite powerful. Notice how the music resets from the pause screen. Oh. Of course, you can only have one on screen at a time. Careful with that dash there. Oh! This is the mini-boss already. I see it's going to remove parts of the floor. That's a problem. One hand down. I think. Okay. There was just one hand. Oh, flying scissors. Interesting. What? Are they landmines or something? I guess so. Very tricky. So, scissors. Does that thematically tie into the stove aesthetic? Household items? I don't know. Let's not overuse this too much. Actually, if bosses don't even have weaknesses, there's not really a problem. But for positioning, no. Oh! Okay, so this little fire dude, definitely thematically appropriate, but oh gosh, is he tough. No, easy. I didn't think that would hit, but what do you know, it did. I love that. In the SNES game, Forte's dash didn't actually get him that much lower, so there weren't gaps that he could go under. There were gaps designed for Rockman to slide under, but not so much for Forte, so that's a fun novelty. Seeing him in that dash animation. Ah! Ah! Seriously? What the heck? Brutal. Just brutal. Now, I can't get under these spikes. I'll show you what happens if I try. So that's something that only Rockman could slide under. Oh, of course. Yeah, that's not so great against Mets. If you miss, it takes time to come back, so... Yeah. You can always deal with them if you're on a slightly lower plane though, because they jump to shoot. Yeah, cool. So what other licensed games were there? I mentioned the Game Boy ones and the Game Gear one. You've also got Wily Wars, which was on the Mega Drive. It was, I think, only released through the Sega channel, whatever that was. Sort of similar to the Satellaview, kind of ephemeral, internet-based. Okay, we're at Conroe Man already. Gosh. Let's do it. Oh. Immune, eh? Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty tough. Let's try out the Cyclone, whatever we've got left of it. Okay, that's not bad. Badly aimed. And now I've run out. Ugh, curses. Okay, so this guy's vulnerable. Not when he's doing that, but at other times he is vulnerable. So we just need to... Oh, badly timed. Yeah, I do like... They have a lot of health, but with the rapid fire you can get through that health. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that death. I got the one up earlier in the stage, so it's best to come in with full health. It's a good way to tackle Mega Man bosses. Of course, that means I will have run out of ammo, but that's okay. We'll get it with Forte's rapid fire. Forte, sorry. That's a remnant. Whenever you see it written down, if you're not familiar with musical terminology, it's all too easy to just think Fort. But yeah, it's based on Forte, as in piano forte. Piano meaning soft, forte meaning loud. It really fits his personality. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I do like the Japanese names better, and you find that as well with certain Dragon Ball fans preferring to use the Japanese names rather than whatever they were localized as. In this case, I think Forte fits his personality better. Bass does as well, to some extent. And treble goes along with the pair better than gospel does, which is kind of a non sequitur. But yeah, Forte meaning like strong or loud. That's what this guy's all about. He just wants to be the best, the strongest, and to know that he is. And he wants everyone else to know as well. Okay, the attack pattern seems to be pretty similar for this guy the whole way through. He's not going to vary it up too much. So at this point, if we do little jumps, we can hit the top of his head there. Oh yeah, I always forget to avoid that. It's possible. Anyway, so in terms of bass versus Forte, it's kind of a toss-up. I think both are good, but for the more main characters of the series up to the point when bass was introduced, I like the Japanese names a lot better. Rock and Rockman are a lot better than Mega Man, and especially Mega as a, as a nickname for his non-combat form is really dumb, I think. And they kept Roll the same, so without calling him Rock, Roll makes no sense at all. Boom. And Blues is just way better and fits his personality better than Proto Man does. Rock is good for like Rockman, he's upbeat and that kind of thing. And Blues is like this kind of mopey guy. It's all musical. And they kept a lot of other names the same that do have the musical tradition. So changing it to Mega Man and Proto Man loses that completely. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Fire. Fire makes bullets go boom. So let's take on Dungan Man next. He's ridiculous because his body is a giant bullet and it makes no sense. But anyway, I was previously talking about licensed Mega Man games, giving you some other examples. So Wily Wars, that was a compilation of the first 3 games, but up-resed, put on the Mega Drive compared to the NES. So they had 16-bit visuals and they redid the sounds in the new sound font, which results in, I think, the soundtrack, I don't know, I think you lose a little something going from those really well-defined NES chiptunes. So that's kind of a wash, but the visuals are definitely much better. And it doesn't have some of the technical limitations that the NES had to contend with sprite flickering and such. I actually played the Mega Drive version of Mega Man 2 on stream a while ago, a long time ago actually. And that was pretty fun. Oh, that's just straight up that B boss from the intro stage of Mega Man X. Okay, well that's definitely bearing out our theories there about the future origin of these robots and what that means. Yeah, okay. That does actually raise further questions though, like what is the place of Rockman's shadow in you know, a post-Reploid society? Okay, so that could have gone better. What are we going to do about this? Did I have a save state? No, it's back here. I'll just rewind through this fight. And yeah, we'll do it better, shall we? Because, you know, presumably all of these robot masters that are involved here, the dimensions as they're called, would be based on old designs pre the Reploid revolution, where all the robots in the world came to be based on the advancements made with X's design. So I know what we have to do here. We need to leave one of these little rings alive and then deal some hits to this guy. And then, oop, yeah. They do disappear when they hit me, so we have to avoid them as well if we can. And the double jump makes that much more doable. Okay, let's do it. Now, the limitation with Forte is he's got his rapid fire and it can shoot in any direction, but while he's shooting, he has to stand still. He can't move, he can't run. But you can always jump and double jump and make progress that way. Whoops. Oh, this is tough. Ah, boy. Yeah, I didn't save. I'll save this time. Yee, bees. Oh, okay, we do have a limit on that. Okay, so I'll save here. Given weighing in on that, whether it's an alternate future or an alternate history, that's probably a good call, because the original idea with Quint was that he came from an alternate future that was peaceful, and Wily wasn't a factor in Quint's future, I believe. Like, Wily had reformed for good, actually, this time. And so they, like, Mega Man had been remodeled into a peaceful form or something. Ugh, not so. So in that future, you can maybe imagine that Light wasn't working on X, Although, I mean, X was never a combat robot anyway. Light was building him to be an advancement of just robotics in general, and to push the boundaries of robot thought and consciousness. I don't know. He does have a big gun on his arm though. But the reason that X was locked up in a capsule for a lot of 30 years was it was testing out sort of ethical programming to make sure that he was capable of making his own decisions and choices. But we can sort of see robots approaching that kind of thought, even in the classic series. But there's supposed to be some kind of big distinction between the two. But yeah, I would totally accept that it's an alternate future. The mechanoids, which are the normal enemies, weren't ever based on the Reploid design, I don't think. So they could all be the same, while the old Robot Master type of design for intelligent robots could have persisted if Reploids hadn't been developed or something. So yeah, it does make sense. We can rationalize it like that. But it's good to think about. It's fun. And I like that this game exists that lets us pose those kinds of questions. I don't know what those bells are supposed to be though. Cool. Health. Now, I'm not going to get under those spikes, unfortunately. You know what we haven't tried out yet? The Forte, the Flame Mixer. What? Oh, I see. If you hold down the button, you get like a flame shield, but if you just press it once, it shoots off into the sky. But if I drop it now, yeah, it'll fly off as well. Okay. Well, it didn't protect me that much. Huh. Yeah, it's dependent on the position. Okay. That didn't go so well. But yeah, the flame position is what protects you, so... If it was spinning faster, it would be more useful. Alright, let's see. Well, I was talking about Wily Wars earlier. I don't know why I got off track of that again, but Wily Wars is interesting because not only does it have the remake aspect where it puts the three earliest 8-bit games into 16-bit, but it also has an additional mode on top of that, the Wily Tower, or whatever it's called. Aha, the 1-up. Perfect. That's very helpful. I'll use that to burn a life at the boss fight and get all my health back. Oops. Too early. Yeah, so there was an extra mode where after you'd beaten the 3 games... Is this gonna... There was extra sort of levels with new level designs that you could take on using a combination of any of the weapons and items from the first 3 games that you would choose. So you were still bound to 8, but you could choose which ones of the 8 you wanted from all the weapons. So you would obviously pick a few, like Metal Blade from number 2. Very helpful things like that. Come on, surely. I don't understand this. Okay. Can these be destroyed? And there were 3 unique bosses in that based on characters from Journey to the West. Buster Rod G, Hyper Water S, and Mega whatever. I forget the names, but... But that's a licensed game, and those characters were all referenced in the original Mega Man and base, actually, in the CD database. As well as the Star Droids from Mega Man 5 on Game Boy, Rockman World 5. I don't understand. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I think I just have to die. And hope there's a checkpoint there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Because that character does less damage. Oh my goodness. You can't go back because of this raised lip. And you can't go forward because you just die. Of course, my other option is grinding for health, but I could take that death. And I can always buy another life, a 1-up in the shop. So we'll do that. I like that they're shooting projectiles that don't hurt you and you can stand on them. It's a nice touch. Okay. And although the so-called compilation games of Rockman World 1 to 4 on Game Boy don't have any new robot masters or stuff. I don't know about the stage designs. I haven't played them. But they do actually introduce new characters in the form of the Rockman Killers, Punk, Anchor, and Ballad. So there's some new stuff to them at least. Game Gear 1 doesn't have that distinction. It's very much nothing new, I believe. But yeah, even these ones that reuse a lot of content have something new to the series in them. Yeah. But as for games that are completely new and licensed, you got this, you got the 5th Game Boy game, Rockman World 5 with the Star Droids, alien robots from space that are named after the planets. You also have, there's 2 DOS games in the Mega Man series, well known for their shoddy quality. And they were called Mega Man and Mega Man 3, The Robots Are Revolting. There was no Mega Man 2 on DOS. I am annoyed by these falling things, girders. Yeah, it feels like only some of them are avoidable, which is pretty annoying. Oops. Single hit and it goes down. This is a pretty powerful weapon. Unfortunately, no health. So this might be a good grinding spot. 3 enemies on one screen. Ugh. Rude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you really got to be careful about the position of those flames. Yeah, the DOS games, it's well known that they're not the best Mega Man games. From the look of them to how they play to the level design. But at least they have new robot masters. The first one only had 3 and the second one had I think 6. But they're all new characters with new powers. Even if some aren't that imaginative. One of them just throws sticks of dynamite at you. And he's not even shaped like a giant stick of dynamite. Which he really would be. In a proper Mega Man game, don't you think? Yeah, so there's that. I think that was at least one fan game that put the DOS Robot Masters and such into a classic NES style Mega Man game. So that's cool. But the last one I had here was Street Fighter X Mega Man, which is a fan game that Capcom USA published officially. Well, they put it up for free on their website, so it's not like they sold it or anything, but they gave it this official blessing, which is nice. And it's got Mega Man going up against characters mostly from Street Fighter 2, I think, probably, although I'm no expert on the subject. Okay, good time for this one. Perfect. And we'll get a bit of a refill too. Don't know why wind blows away those walls specifically, but having breakable walls is a very Mega Man thing to do. Alright, looks like we're up to the boss. No door, but the corridor tells me so. And I did want to try the fire a little bit. Probably won't be that great, but we'll see. Oh, it's good. If I hold it down, I can get multiple hits with it too. But now we've run out, so that's okay. So here's Bullet Man, Dungun Man, which sounds like Unpun Man when you say it. But no, this guy's not made of bread, he's made of bullets. Much like the indie game Enter the Gungeon, where everything is a bullet. Oh gosh, that was tough. So I started with less than full health, but what? Yeah, we can do this. This won't be too difficult. The old triple shot, it's a classic. Grey Devil did that too. Oh no. But yeah, you can memorize the boss pattern pretty easily. This time I will use rewinds more because we've been going for almost an hour and this is our third boss, so that's about halfway. Not counting the final stages, so yeah, we want to speed up progress a little bit. Oh gosh, the hit stun is just massive. Unfortunately, we don't have enough bolts to really get any good upgrades yet. The really good ones are 300. Oh wow, that is really powerful. Because it can do multiple hits on its way through. Yeah, great. Yeah, sorry Gibbon, I was jumping into the projectiles a lot. I'm a goof. But yeah, stuff. Gibbon's saying some cool stuff. Oh, the Forte Vulcan looks like it's a homing shot. That's nice. You ever think, Gibbon says, you ever think about how much time has passed between X1 and later games in the series? Dr. Kane slowly fades in the background, is never mentioned again. There's talk of long stretches of time where Sigma was thought gone. And Command Mission being set in 22XX. And then Zero being set even later. Yeah, it is interesting. I know for certain that Zero is, I think, 100 years after the Elf Wars, which was supposed to be something that took place an unspecified amount of time after X5, which was the original end of the series. So there could be alternate timeline stuff going on there, but I don't want to sort of jump straight into that. But yeah, it definitely seems like time passes, especially with things like you say, Command Mission in particular. Characters have drastic redesigns, especially X has a very different look, and with his scarf and everything. And yeah, it sort of, these games are set in 2000X in the original, and then it soon shifted to 20XX, and then the X series is stated to be 21XX, and then saying that Command Mission is 22XX is a way of saying, oh, this is, you know, a bit further into the future. But there's definitely some gaps there, I think, yeah. And then, yeah, Zero is 100 years after that. ZX is 100 years after that. And then Legends is sort of implied to be many hundreds of years in the future of that timeline. And Given saying Quint could be Mega Man from after 11, but before X. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because Wily never really stops, does he? Because he makes Zero and then he makes the Maverick virus essentially, so... And then he has some kind of presence going into the future. I don't know. There's a lot to Mega Man lore once you really get into it. But let me see. Quint. Could Quint be from... Yeah. I don't see why not, but I would have to think about it. My brain isn't in best condition right now. Oh, we got more landmines. They're actually visible here on this ground. Maybe they were visible on the other ground, I just didn't notice, but you can see that little square. Yeah. So this is Commissar Man. Like I said, based on kind of the idea of ancient Buddhist monks who wear a basket on their head. I don't really know where that came from, but you get a character design like that in Origami as well, and maybe some other media that you might be familiar with, which I do not know what it would be. But yeah, I don't really know what his powers are. We'll find out as we get to him. But it's a really strange concept for a boss. I suppose 6 had some odd kind of culturally based types of robot masters that I would also say are a bit weird, but yeah. Of course, the original Rockman Forte game had Tengu Man, which is based on Japanese mythology. And yeah, there's something about affinity for frogs with ninjas in the mythology. Well, he's not a ninja though, but it's all wrapped up in that kind of Japanese cultural iconography. Ye olde times. This is a bit tough. So here's our mini boss for this stage. We've come upon them very quickly, I think. What should we try? Should we try Dungun Bullet, the Forte Vulcan? I notice I haven't got a refill on any of my weapons in between stages, which is what usually happens, I would say, but not this time. This works. Also, not getting hit by his attacks works. Or its attacks. I like this. It would maybe be even more useful for Rockman, but since Forte can angle his shots like... Whoop. Yeah, like he already has more coverage over the screen. If you see what I mean. Oh, these things again. They're supposed to be ladybugs, I guess. I feel like since they're not refilling my health, I might need to... not refilling my energy, I might need to grind at some point. Wow, this really just kills everything in one hit. That's pretty great. Might as well get that extra life. Okay, what should we fill up? I find this one the most useful so far. Whoops! Yeah, I forgot. When you go to the subscreen, it actually defaults to the Buster. So then you can leave that screen without thinking. Yes. Okay. I was trying to be clever there and really did not pull it off. Curses. Hold on. Let me do that a little better. Cyclone time. What? Oh, I hit the wrong button, I guess. By pressing B on that screen, you quit without selecting the thing that you have highlighted. What? Alright, there's a letter up there. I'm sorry. I'm not holding up too well, I think. Oh. Does the bullet pass through floors? It does. Oh, but it can circle. Like a shield boomerang gone haywire. That's fun. I like that. Okay. What? My weapons weren't hitting this thing before. Is it just invincible? Seems unfair. Nothing I have will actually hit it right now, so just gotta sneak past, I guess. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, not you again. Come on. Ah. Nah. Perfect positioning, please. Yes. Whoops. Go, go. Yeah, cool. Okay. I have no idea what the background is supposed to be here. I was noticing some patterns that looked like bamboo earlier, but there's really a lot of abstract shapes that I can't really understand right now. But yeah, the flute... oh, okay. This guy can copy himself. He's a bit of an Astro Man. Okay. Ow! Yikes. Oh yeah, I'm out of bullets too. Great. So I guess you have to hit the real one. That's how these things usually work. I'm pretty annoyed actually that I haven't got a refill. Maybe I have to visit the shop to get a refill. I don't know. Alright, let's do this. Komuso Man. Ugh. Quit it. What? Which one? What? What? My shots are never doing anything. Okay, so that one? But only sometimes? This guy has a lot more invincibility than some of the other bosses. Oh boy. This is all I have to work with, is the flame mixer and only a little bit of it. I've been able to get through most of these just with the buster, but not so much right now. Come on. Yeah, okay. Doing damage just continually through contact, very useful. So maybe, yeah, certain animations I think make him invulnerable. So whenever he's got his arm up, sort of covering himself, that seems to be an invincible period. So what we're gonna do is reverse to here. Okay, so that's invincible. Standing there like that, he's vulnerable. But I have so much knockback that if I ever get hit, I lose a lot of time. And I think time is a more important resource here. Ah. Yeah, this is real tough. But health is also an important resource, and I'm losing a lot of it. Okay. So he can disappear, because he's cool like that. I think he might be vulnerable during part of that. If I can get a shot at him, but it's hard to. So he'll pause now. No, he won't. Okay. Okay. Whoops. So he's doing another one of these, is he? Yeah, I can hit him at this point. But then watch out for that. But if I do, say... hold on. Sorry. Okay. Jump over. Jump over. And the double jump, of course, makes that possible. Rockman would not be able to do that. So what's he going to do now? That again, huh? Okay. If I never get hurt, it's fine. Ah. Fat chance, huh? Oh, it's so tight. The gaps. Okay, let's keep at it. You only get a few shots if you dodge this perfectly. Okay, no problem. See, I have no idea how Mega Man would avoid a lot of these attacks without the double jump. In that case, I think they've actually balanced this game better for base, because in the original, like, base's abilities made traversing levels easier as him, but made bosses easier as Rockman, and I think it's the other way around here. Or not the other way around, but I think Forte's a lot better in bosses in this game, so he's kind of the superior choice in both circumstances. So that's Commissar Man down finally. I got the Doppler attack. Oh, that's cute! Tiny little base forms. I think for Mega Man that's called the Doppler something shot. Or Doppel shot. It's a reference to Doppelganger, but Doppler doesn't really make as much sense. So I don't know really how that works just from that preview, but oh well. So we have some bolts. Oh gosh, an extra life is 200? The economy is so out of whack in this game compared to the original. Lives are a lot cheaper in that one. Reggae only just gives you an item. And this is a one-off, whereas Reggae is a permanent thing that you can then use. Getting twice as much life is tempting, but I think I feel like I should save up for improving my damage. Half the energy. Refill the empty weapons first. Yeah, the energy balancer. I feel like I need that right now. Oh! A weapon tank. The original game didn't have tanks at all. No E-tanks or W-tanks. And reduces damage. See, a lot of these seem like they'd be really good, but I can't really afford anything except the balancer. Or the life doubler. We could get the balancer and then do a nice grinding session. What's the time? I'm gonna just do that. Yeah, because it's too annoying to swap between weapons going through the sub-screen every time you want to refill one. Alright, 2 stages of Robot Masters to go. This is Clockman. Oh, Blues is here. Tell me who he is now, Blues. Rockman Shadow is a reflection of you. He gains power as you do. Huh? What? You're not making sense. I agree. You can beat this Rockman, but first, you must reach him. You must witness his true power. Cryptic as usual, Blues. Thanks a lot. So yeah, these guys in the color concept art, they have red and blue sort of color highlights on them to distinguish them. But in monochrome form, you really can't tell them apart at all. Alright. Now with our balancer, we will be able to refill our weapons without even trying. Very useful. And then I'll be able to use them more. Ugh. Well, what now? Let's try our new... Oh, okay. It's actually gone like step by step. It's gone through 1, 1, 1 and filled them all. Okay, so how does this work? Boom. Okay, you hold it down and then you just move around the screen freely and damage things while you're a cute little sprite. I like it, but it does take a lot of energy. So we can't just go around using that all the time, unfortunately. Ooh, wow, okay. Yeah, forget you, buddy. I noticed that a lot of the stage graphics are kind of very similar to each other. Whoopsie. I don't understand. So they're only vulnerable side on. There's kind of a 3D perspective thing happening with this enemy, I guess. Stay away. So, I don't know, we were talking about licensed Mega Man games, but I only mentioned the ones that are platformers in the way that the usual Mega Man games are. But there's other ones that add stuff to the series too. I think the most prominent of them would be Rockman Strategy, which is a Taiwanese turn-based strategy PC game. But it has a whole set of robots, 12 in all, enemy robots that have new designs, and they're based on the constellations, star signs, western star signs. What's good for this guy? Okay. I think a lot of the weapons just kill everything in one hit. It's more about how they move around the screen that makes them useful in different situations. So I'm tempted to just use this one a lot. Nice. Oh, okay, we're in Super Mario World now, apparently. Oh yeah. I've run out of weapons, of course. Oh, this sucks. Oh no, there's more of them. That's terrible. Just take the hits. No! No! Yeah, get owned, you little annoying creature. Okay, apparently one bar is not enough to fire off a cyclone. Good to know. Oh, yeesh. I think Rockman Strategy was the one that also introduced a new sort of playable good guy robot. Fun. What is this? Some kind of tractor, but it jumps. This looks like a classic style enemy, definitely, with its big face on the front. I feel like I'm not performing at my best right now. Boom, done. Let's talk about the development of the game, because there's a bit of misinformation around, I think. Oh, there's a classic style bat guy. Or rather, a lack of information is a problem in a lot of places. Yeah. Sometimes falling down a pit is the way to proceed, sometimes it's your death. So this game was developed by Layup, who were a subsidiary of Bandai, the creators of the WonderSwan. A lot of development on the WonderSwan was done by Bandai themselves. or in this case a subsidiary. But Layup themselves don't... Oh, okay, we're in gravity stage here. Okay. Yeah, let's just die. I need my health back. It's fine. That doesn't restore energy though, of course. Yeah, Layup, they don't have a Wikipedia page. They don't have a Moby Games profile. But luckily, the Game Developers Research Institute pulled through for me, as they often do. For obscure developers, they're a good resource. So according to them, Layup have got actually a pretty sizable catalog. A lot of it after they acquired or were merged with two other developers called Very and what was the other one? Sonnet Computer Entertainment, which happened in 1997. But yeah, they've got a lot of sort of anime licensed tie-in games on their resume. Ah. Oh, I see. There's a tiny arrow on the screen. Gravity Man stage has huge arrows that are colored. This one has small arrows that appear from time to time that tell you... Ugh, come on. I'm regretting not picking up the extra powered buster. Perhaps the difficulty of this is a bit higher because, you know, by this point you've completed all the other levels. That's the thing about gating them in that way instead of having all 8 available at the start. Oops. So is it a common function of wristwatches to invert things frequently? I don't know. Oh! Oh. Yeah, these things can change so quickly. It's all RNG. Whatever. I need a good screen where I can farm. Either that or I decide to just die and continue with the buster, which works well enough for me. Oh, there's a thing. I'll take that thing. Yeah, so Layup. So what's that done? Yeah, given me a few things. Not much though. And I can't backtrack for that extra life, unfortunately. Ah. Let me see if I wrote anything down about them. So Very mostly made F1 racing and pro wrestling games, but yeah, like I said, it's a lot of anime-based games for Layup, although they did also do the WonderSwan port of Makaimura, also known as Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever. Oh, Gibbon, this is Clockman stage. We've beaten the first 4 bosses, so there's 2 more to go. And after the first 4, you do them all, and then this unlocks. And then Compass Man unlocks. And Compass Man actually doesn't give you a weapon in this game, strangely enough. I have bugger all special weapon ammo, so I'm going to go this one with the Buster. And yeah, hope for the best. So Makaimura for WonderSwan is the title of the game, I guess. And it's the only other one really... Well, there's a couple more, but it's the main other one that's listed on Moby Games, especially as sharing developers, individual developers with this. Oh boy, these guys are tough. Ouch. Yeah, contact always does so much damage. Yeah, we just gotta work out how to be safe. And when we can get some hits in. Gotta use the dash. Yeah, baby. Love the dash. Classic time stopper. Flashman, etc. Centaur, man slash woman. Oh. Who else does freezing things? I don't know. No problem. Yeah, thanks to cheating, we're doing quite well in this time. On this boss. How are you supposed to predict where those will appear? Okay. But yeah, so Layup has a few games to their name, but they're mostly known as manufacturers of toys and merchandise, actually, under Bandai. Apparently that lightning bolt hurts a lot. Go figure. Yeah, boom. Okay, one disappeared, one exploded. Yeah, the other thing that I noticed when looking up information on this game is I went to Moby Games to find out more about the developer, and they don't actually have a separate listing for this game. It's listed under Rockman Forte for SNES as a port, which is patently untrue. It's completely not the case at all. Alright, so Compass Man there, based on a drawing compass, I think, not a magnetic compass. Based on the look of him there in the portrait. That's our final stage before the ending bits. So we're going to see if we can afford anything here for now. 173. That's not really enough. I already got the energy balancer. We could get reggae. Let's do it. You know what? Reggae... I think this is maybe reggae's only, like, tangible appearance in a traditional Mega Man style game. I think he runs the shop when you play in base mode in Mega Man 10. Or he at least appears in the shop or something. But yeah, him actually affecting gameplay is kind of a novelty. So we'll get him. Grr, get out of my way. Actually, I'm already regretting buying reggae. Oh boy. Anyway, Grr, get out of my way. I want to beat down on Rockman Shadow. So arrogant. You won't live long enough to face him. I am Rockman Shadow's first lieutenant, Compass Man. No space. I would say that's erroneous for whoever translated this, Nick DC. His base is ahead. Just try to get through me now. Compass Man. No, maybe not. If that graphic, I don't think the graphics had to be translated for the level intro stuff, but I don't know. Unclear. Alright. So, what are we doing now? We're fighting things. Doing a level. Not getting nearly enough energy pickups, I will say. Yes, that's right. We'll use reggae when we've lost some health. Nice music there. By the way, I have played a WonderSwan Mega Man game before because I played Rockman EXE WS, one of the two traditional platformer style games in the EXE series, the other one being, what's it called? NT something on GameCube, which introduced Zero to the Battle Network series. Oh, great. You know, in the original, Bass got more jump height and length if he did a dash before jumping. But it's too hard to pull that off in this game, because you have to press down and jump to do a dash in the first place, and then, yeah, he kind of stops dashing if you let go of the button. So, anyway. Next mini boss, and it's like the robot from Lost in Space or something. What? Okay, hit the head, I guess. And avoid that thing. I can do that. Whoa, that's new. So he's got different weapons to pull out. Yeah, not putting a space between the name and man or woman is kind of an EXE thing to do, because the names of the boss characters didn't have spaces there, and they always ended in .exe. Because in the future, Windows has taken over, I guess. I don't know, does Linux have XEs? Executables? Kind of funny. What's also funny is certain browsers will identify if there's a certain file type at a link. So, for example, if you're on the Mega Man wiki, looking up names of bosses in the Battle Network series, they're all called, you know, like cutman.exe as the title of the page. So it thinks that it's a link to an executable file on the internet that you're about to access. Dumb browsers. Ah, finally. Gosh. Given saying this reminds him of a Sonic boss. Yeah, I could see that, actually. I hate it when there's an enemy floating over a void. It means you'll never get the pickup from them. But I guess that also means I can just avoid them. Oh! Ah! Yep, don't have to fight it. Is this a choice? It is. So what's up here? Seems like the base-only route, because you have to double jump to get there. And I know the other route led to energy, so that's actually something I really want. And now there's 2 more routes here. Jeez, how am I supposed to pick where to go? Alright. I don't want to go there. Where did I save? Oh, back here. Never mind. Let's go the way that gives us energy, shall we? Cool. Oh, and health too. Can't complain about that. And a life. Wow. This is really the primo route to go. Who knew Compass Man lived in a maze? Yeah. Oh, come on. Maybe I can't? Oh, I can. Oh, really? But, yeah, talking about Rockman AXCWS, I didn't really mention that the WonderSwan had a successor in the WonderSwan Color. And I'm pretty familiar with it only because I grew up with the Game Boy Advance ports of the Final Fantasy games, which were excellent ports, and often added a lot of cool stuff to the games, and, you know, updated the visuals, updated the translation of the script as well in a lot of cases, which is a very nice thing. But all of those GBA ports, well, I say all, I think only the 4, 5, and 6 ones, not the 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls one. But yeah, they were all based on, or at least those ones, were based on the existing WonderSwan color ports that had already been done. And a lot of those changes had already been made for those ports, and then were just converted onto the GBA, which was a much more popular platform, of course. Because I believe the WonderSwan and the WonderSwan Color never really left Japan, So, bit of a handicap. And explains why all these WonderSwan exclusive games have to get fan-made translation patches before we can play them. Excuse me? These conveyor belts, they always catch me off guard. Okay, let's go. Let's make some progress before we die, please. Oh, okay. I'll take that hit. Great. Now I can die from one hit. But and the WonderSwan crystal, says Gibbon. That... Oh, what is that? Can you explain that further, actually? What is the WonderSwan crystal? I don't remember exactly. Alright. Why don't we try out a new thing? The time bomb. Against Compass Man. He is so rad. Look at him. Yeah, there we go. What? Oh, okay. That's all it does? Just like lets you avoid one attack. Not that useful. Oh, okay. So he separates his body, just like, let me see. I think Nightman had a, like his upper body was rotating on an axis that was floating above his lower body or something. I don't know if he could separate them like this though. What was the point of that animation? When is this guy vulnerable? Is it just that top bit? Oh gosh, that's going to be really tricky. It's like the mini-boss robot. Let's just use up what special weapons we have, I guess. Alright. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay, Gibbon's correcting me on Final Fantasy. So 1 and 2 had WonderSwan ports, as he recalls, but 6 did not. So definitely 4 and 5 were based on ports, but yeah, I think you're right about that actually. But it's really cool that they bundled 1 and 2 together on the GBA. Especially with as many changes as they did to them. That was a really good value release. Ah, come on. Didn't manage to get much of a hit there. Come on, dude. I ain't got all day. Oh, really? And now run out of shots. Doppler attack. Oh, wow. Okay. Nothing is that useful. I'm going to try and get a hit with the Doppler Cyclone, or Fort Cyclone. And also Gibbon saying that he's salty that we never got a GBA port of the Saga remake on WonderSwan. So they remade like the first Final Fantasy Legend or whatever it was, did they? Yeah. One hit. Not that good. Okay. I think we might have to rely on the Buster here. I'm actually pretty annoyed that the game doesn't refill your energy between levels. I feel like that's a common thing in Mega Man games. Good. Take that. Yeah, that single shot is not that threatening, except how I somehow managed to keep getting hit by it. Yeah, sometimes you want to be standing underneath him, sometimes you don't. Oh, that's a tough situation. Ugh. One hit, that's fine. Yeah, he's completely invincible in that whole animation. Not that it is an animation. It's just his sprite being moved. It's always contact that does the most damage. Ah, that's not true. I think that lightning bolt did a ton of damage. from Clockman. No. Can't hack that. Okay, I'll do those shots and then dash. Yeah, beautiful. Once you know exactly what's going to happen, it's not so bad. Yeah, Final Fantasy Legend got a WonderSwan Color remake in the same vein as the Final Fantasies. So yeah, Square supported the console pretty well, it sounds like. And Capcom did as well with the two unique Mega Man games here, the EXE one and this one. As well as Makai Moto, of course. Whoopsie. Oh man, this is tough. Sorry about the sound. Come on. Yeah, it's okay to take a few hits every now and then. Oh, this is not going well. What have we got? I'll try and use this well, since I have an idea of how to avoid his attacks now. What? Why would you chase him? It's kind of a defense against that weapon if you think about it. Alright, it's not that weapon. Okay, if I get inside his hitbox and do that, that's actually some good hits. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay. If I just, yeah, be careful. Yeah, okay. Save. Use it. And then stand here and go boom, 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 boom. Ah, okay, that was some hits. It's fine. Alright. Excuse me? It's just instantly... this attack just drains so much energy that I... Yeah, there were like no frames that I was able to actually use it. Alright, whatever. I don't see a practical use of Time Bomb at all, actually. Except to get out of attacks when he's, like, got me cornered. Alright. That was a few good hits. I think we could continue from there. By the way, if you rapid fire Forte's shot, it can get a slightly quicker fire rate than if you just hold the button. I was trying to dash under that. It didn't work. Okay, let's do it. No hits? Seriously? Alright, fine. Terrible. And now Gibbon is checking if anyone has translated Blue Wing Blitz. I don't know what that is. Also, he posted a description of the WonderSwan Crystal, which I have yet to read. I hate this guy. I hate not having energy. Every time. I fall for that every time. Oh, come on. I am giving into despair, but no. Be strong. Yes. Survival. Ah! One more? Nah, okay. Alright. We can do this. Not too much to go. And then, hopefully, the end. Oh. Blah. Okay. Hataraku Chocobo also started out on the WonderSwan. Nice. The Crystal had better LCD hardware, which all but removed the ghosting of earlier models and had a crisper, brighter display and more audio options. Oh, lovely. So it was like a revision. Sort of like the PSP got a bunch of revisions. Yeah, take that clock compass, man, you jerk. Oh. Okay, what do we have? 33. Oh, I bought reggae stupidly. Yeah, I don't think we can afford anything right now. I could get a spike guard, but with save states, with rewinding, there's no chance of me hitting a spike anyway. Alright. Hopefully the last stage, Rockman Shadow. Blue Wing Blitz is a strategy RPG by the Front Mission team. It's all airplane combat, almost steampunk in aesthetic with light fantasy elements. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, WonderSwan sure has some hidden gems, huh? Ah, finally, I'm gonna wipe that stupid grin off your face. We'll see about that first. Oh! Okay, lore dump time. This is like a recreation of a screenshot from Rockman World 2 on the Game Boy. And that's Sakugan, the jumping jackhammer that Quint rode on. Okay. Quint was created by Dr. Wily by reprogramming our future Rockman. Yes. I am the same model as Quint. Huh? But Quint is Mega Man, so he's the same model as Mega Man. Maybe this is like Evil X. That's not... X isn't the same model as Mega Man. He's kind of based on him, but he's like way more advanced. Anyway, that's why you recognize me. Well, I recognize you because you look exactly like Mega Man. Join me, Forte. Together we can defeat even the Rockman of your time. And rule this weak world. Well, they didn't really explain why he's evil. I guess because Wily reprogrammed him as well? So did he create a copy? Because copy Rockman exists, right? Is this just the same thing? I don't understand. Another creation of Wily's, huh? Yeah, I guess he summed it up there. Yeah, we could work together. I've got a better idea, though. Yeah, the last game ended with King offering to... Or Wily offering for Forte to work with King, and Forte turning that down, even though they were both creations of Wily. Spoilers! I'll destroy you first, then take over this world by myself! Ah! Our Shadow. Cool, he has a blade, that's nice. I do like Zed Saber. And once again we have the same background sprites here, or should I say, like, scenery sprites. This game doesn't have too much of a visual variety, I gotta say. Nice music though. I think most of the music is recreations or like chiptune conversions of the SNES soundtrack, existing soundtrack from, yeah, Rockman Forte. But I don't specifically remember every track, so sorry. Time to mash. Oh, okay. You get different story sequences when playing as Rockman. That's cool. I should have expected that. I'll never see them. I might watch a playthrough later. Someone actually competent playing the game. See what happens when Rockman's around. Oh, the whole thing's sinking. Feels like I have to get to this point, yeah. Before we fall in. Interesting little wrinkle. Cool. I like this segment. Oh. Stop it. I really could use that upgraded Buster. If I was playing this not on stream, I would seriously just grind for tons and tons of nuts and buy all the items. Although it might be the case that you can only have one equipped at a time, as it is on SNES. Luckily I was able to get around that. Trapped in a bubble sprite. Cute. Yeah, I was able to get around that with a nice little fan hack. Not only did they make a hack that allowed you to switch between the two characters at any time, which is very handy, especially for hunting the CDs down, but they also made another hack that let you equip multiple pieces of equipment from the shop. Instead of having to pick one, you could use them all at once. Very handy. I don't remember offhand who made those hacks, but they're in romhacking.net for the original Mega Man and Bass game on SNES. No such hack exists for this game, unfortunately. Just that translation, which so far has been pretty excellent, I gotta say. Oh, and of course you need a translation patch to play the SNES version of the original in English, of course. And that was done by Eon Genesis. And it's pretty good, although I noticed a few errors toward the end of the game in the script. I wonder if other weapons can break these. Nope. Just the cyclone, huh? Well, I don't have any left, so there's nothing I can do about that. Luckily I have 3 lives anyway. The stages haven't been too challenging, so I'll probably get to Rockman Shadow, die, and then try and get on with what the 1 life I have. Or 2 lives. Go. The flying cube is interesting. A lot of stuff in these games has a face, but that one's pretty abstract for a Rockman enemy. Come on. Yeah, the ability to shoot through walls is also very helpful. I don't know if Rock has that by default in this game, but it's one of Forte's upgrades. Oh gosh. No! We'll get all its health back. You know what? Screw it. Double jump, I can just skip you. Great. I do like this widescreen perspective for Rockman games. The Game Boy had a really tiny screen, which was kind of a problem for level design purposes. Most of the time it's more squarish, so it's interesting having a widescreen landscape presentation. What? It just grazed my toe. Okay. Oh, okay. Skull with legs. Oh, it shoots bones, great. Of course, there's the weak point. And when it runs out of bones, it shoots more. Got it. Just like the bee shooting out more rings. You can leave one on screen. And this one is actually much slower, so it's a lot easier to dodge. Yeah, that's the way. Wow, this boss is actually pretty easy to cheese. I like that. Oops. Yeah. Oh, alright. I don't know. I had some notes prepared for who all has been playable in different Rockman installments. Who all? I can't believe I just said who all. And the point I want to make about it is that the best kind of alternate protagonist is one that plays quite differently from your primary protagonist. So there's a few times where Blues was playable, like in Rockman 9 and 10, and also in Powered Up. But he's really just Mega Man with a shield, and maybe he has slightly different powers, like different number of shots on screen or a better charge shot or something. In 9 and 10, when Rockman can't charge or slide, those abilities are given to Blues, but I don't know, it's not a big enough change really. Whereas Forte in the original SNES game and this one, I find that his abilities really do change up your playstyle a lot more, and that's a lot more interesting to play as. The rapid fire in any direction, the double jump, the dash. I like all these things, and I like how different they are to Rockman. And that's not really the case for any of Blues' appearances. So Forte is actually a selectable character in 10. I don't think it's DLC. I think it's sort of unlockable or just there. Actually, I don't know for sure. I don't remember. But so in that game, which is, you know, the 8-bit throwback style, he's got some of the same abilities that he did in these other appearances, in that he can dash and he can shoot in 8 directions, or 7 I guess, because you can't shoot straight down. But he lost the double jump ability, I guess because it would break the level design too much and they hadn't accounted for it. But yep, still don't have enough cycling to do anything. Kind of demoralizing. I miss having energy. Remember when I was experimenting with weapons and seeing how overpowered they were? I guess that balances it out. Yeah, so I think of all of Forte's abilities, the double jump is the one I like most, so I was pretty disappointed that he doesn't have it in 10. But he still has those other changes that do change him a fair bit, so that's a decent portrayal of him in 10, I think. Hello? Yes, they just have a lot of health, like everything. So yeah, Blues and Forte share a number of playable appearances, in 3 each. Of course, the only other one, apart from all of the light numbers in Powered Up, is Roll, who I must have talked about it at length in when I played Powered Up Roll mode itself, but she is in the mobile port of Rockman 1 for Japanese mobile phones, playing identically to Mega Man as far as I know. I don't know if she has the copy ability. There wasn't a good summary of that I could look up, but so she's a kind of Blues in that game, you could say. But on the other hand, just having basically a skin for your character that doesn't change anything about it but changes the appearance is fine too, I think. My philosophy is if you're going to change how they play, you should change it significantly enough to make it more interesting, I guess. That's what I'm coming down on. But as far as that goes, Roll herself in Powered Up is a really good secondary protagonist. Well, tertiary, really, because she was released after Blues, I think. But anyway, she's cool in that game because she has a close-range broom, which is a very different playstyle. Although she gets no ability to power up at all over the course of the game, unfortunately. Alright, so here we are at Rockman Shadow, the final boss. We have next to no weapon energy. Time Bomb doesn't even do any damage. So we're just going to have to keep our finger on the rewind key and get through this. So this is the guy. He's going to play a little bit like Mega Man, you can tell from the slide. I don't think Rockman really jumps like that. I get the feeling that, like, Forte jumps well. The physics work with his jump. But a lot of these bosses have this weird arcing jump that doesn't seem to make much physical sense. Luckily I seem to be able to avoid these pretty well. But yeah, he's got this laser type of buster apparently. No Sakugan yet. I know Sakugan appears in the concept art because I was just looking at that this morning. Protodude's Rockman Corner, go check it out. This isn't too difficult. Oops. Oh. Oh, rude. This guy actually is pretty powerful in terms of how much damage he's doing to me. Oh! Oh, there it is! Yeah, okay. He's got the jackhammer. He can use it to break down the ceiling. Oh. I didn't save, did I? One life left. Let's do it. Okay. Final boss. So, given confirming that this is the final boss, is there a secret second health bar? There's no second form. No, like, Wily machine. It's a good change of pace, actually. So many Rockman games, even when they look like they have a different antagonist, end with Wily popping up and saying, "Oh, it was me all along," and now you fight the same kind of boss that has been in all the other games. Kind of boring, but yeah, this having Rockman Shadow here, even if ultimately he's a creation of Wily, Wily doesn't participate in the plot or gameplay at all, so I'll give it a pass on that. Yeah, cool stuff. Especially having the final boss be a variant of Rockman himself is a nice twist. I think it was really cool when Zero had the final boss was basically X. Just a souped up version of him. Okay. Those rocks look pretty hard to avoid if you're in the wrong place. Yep. Ah, invincible, I see. Doesn't seem fair if you ask me. Is he gonna stop doing this at any point? Oh, I got one hit in. Maybe this is just this phase. This is what this phase is. Maybe I need to hit the head, of course. That's always the answer, isn't it? Shoot the head. Yep. Okay. Great. We're on board. Given can't remember if there's anything after this. That's okay. We'll both be surprised. Oh. Huh. Maybe I can end this fight on perfect health. That will really prove that Base is the master of time and space. I would use the dash a lot more if it was mapped to a different key, but not really possible on the WonderSwan, the way the buttons are laid out. Oh, by the way, the subtitle of the game isn't even on the box art. Oh yeah, it is. It's really small. I just noticed it. I didn't see it before. There's a lot of kanji in it, by the way. Down the bottom. But luckily it has furigana, so you can read it, even if you don't have all the kanji memorized. But Mirai, I think, comes up pretty often. You should know that. If you're familiar with Japanese, it means future. Ah! Oh! Phase 3, huh? And he's using that saber. Ooh! And he's got sparkles. I like sparkles. Whoa! That was weird. He has the power of instant transmission, apparently, because in midair he can just instantly go back to the floor. You know what? We have health. Let's tank this. Yeah, you ain't so tough, buddy. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, wait, you are! Ah! Yeep! Alright. I was too arrogant. Classic base, right? Ow. Ugh. Oh, I really didn't have to hit that. Or that. Or that. Hang on. Okay, good. Now what a goof. Alright. Yeah, no problem. Pow, pow, pow. Oh! Once again, too cocky. Go! That's a really powerful sword, man. I guess it is from the future. Nah. I was gonna say, I think base, like Forte.exe. I don't think he had a sword. Proto.exe had a sword, I think. Blues.exe. Yeah, in Battle Network, Forte just had like a cool cape, you know. He was like, ooh, I'm so edgy. Oh! Yeah, of course, the teleportation. How could I forget? Alright, let's do this phase again without tanking too much. Why are you so powerful, my friend? Oh, come on. Dude. Maybe this game is balanced for you to have all the power-ups by this point. Although again, I'm not sure if you can stack them. Yeah, there's such a delay on those sparkles. I either get hit by one or the other. It's really hard to avoid. There must be a way. Well, of course, the way is to sort of get some distance and then jump between the sparks, I guess. I don't know how Rockman is supposed to avoid this. You then checked eBay on a lark, and a box copy of Blue Wing Blitz is $6 plus shipping, so... Guess what's in the post? Nice. Do you have a WonderSwan? I mean, you know, having it as a collector's item is fine too. But it would be a shame if you couldn't even play it. Okay, we're doing this, I guess. Yeah. That was so close. Come on. Can't you just let me have that game? Let me not get hit at all, please. It's not so kind as that. Oops. come on. Finally. I'm sorry. Gibbon says, oh, actually, he says maybe he has one, but maybe it went to the X. He does have a Neo Geo Pocket Color, so that might have been the trade-off. You might have to swap with her. That was tougher than I expected. Yeah, you're telling me, Base. Dude, I was there. That was well tough. But this fight felt strange. Heh, it's oddly fitting. I'm bleeding from the eye, robot blood, or oil or something. That you were the strongest Forte. After Quint was destroyed, I was abandoned, but I upgraded myself to get revenge on my world. No one could stop me, so I went back to find someone who would. Wait, what? You wanted to lose? Arg! So you took it easy on me, huh? Classic anime bad guy. No, I went all out against you, but it was so meaningless. Fighting just to fight only leads to more enemies. There is no end. Learn from my mistakes, Forte. I get the feeling he's not going to learn from this. Avoid this fate. Farewell. Humph. I won't become weak like Rockman, but it was interesting. Do you think Forte learned his lesson? Rockman, I'm not in the mood to I'm not in the mood to have my controller run out of batteries, I'll tell you that much. But I'm glad it happened after the fight. To finish you off today. But just remember, I am the strongest. Ha! Forte out. Oh. Ghost. Cyber Elf. Ooh, nice. Okay. Oh, it's Rockman Soccer. Mega Man Soccer. Don't think that was released in Japan. Aw. Cute baby dog. Blues. So cool. Roll does the vacuuming. Nice smoking a pipe while soldering, dude. Oh, the gang's all there. There's Tango, there's Beat, there's Eddie, there's Auto. He wasn't even in the game. Maybe he runs the shop in the other mode. Oh, there's everyone. Even Shadow. Oh, how cute. Thank you for playing. See you next time. Well, thank you for the game, Layup Co. New theory, X is retooled Shadow. You know what? I believe it. It would make him a time paradox, actually, like a bootstrap paradox. Shadow came from the future, and then... I don't know. Time paradox is too confusing. But yeah, that's the game. Rockman and Forte Mirai Kara no Chousencha, aka Challenger from the Future. Oh, was that him he was working on? Oh yeah, because then he was there in the end. I guess they went and dug up the corpse from that they had buried, and then Light reconstructed him in that scene just there. You're totally right. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then he's more advanced, and he formed, because he's based on Mega Man, but he's like better. Sure, yeah, that's a good hand cannon. Let's go with that. X is Rockman Shadow. Yes. I don't think there's anything that would ever contradict that, so go for it. Alright, I'm gonna rest my voice. Thank you for watching. This was fun. And yeah, see you next time for more robot games. I feel like if I was in a better frame of mind, I would have been able to do more theory crafting, but I'm sorry. I've failed in that front a little bit, but that's alright. We'll continue that discussion elsewhere, I suppose. So, bye.